But welcome to the first episode of TNT. I am Tim.
I'm Tenee.
And we're going to be talking about some random stuff. Well, we were just talking about Whitney and a bunch of celebrities and whatnot. Dead celebrities mostly. So it kind of started off morbid a little bit, no?
Yeah, but that's always the mood.
Oh, yeah. But you do. Go ahead and continue what you were saying.
No, I just read an article, and I was talking to some of my friends who think that nurses and doctors should get paid more than people in the entertainment industry, like sports professionals. And I disagree, because I think that the cost of tickets, the cost of that time and energy, that effort, is way more than doctors put in.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is too, like, that's what the people want, Like, so if like more people are giving money to it, you can't help that, that they're like shelling out a bunch of money for a concert. And then like you also have to think about how much work goes into a concert. It's not just the actor. You got the sound engineers, audio engineers, makeup artists.
Also, how I see it is literally, if you take care of your own body, you don't need to see a nurse or doctor unless like you're about to lose a leg or something.
That is true.
If you have holistic health, it's highly unlikely you're going to need to go to the doctor every year, like they say, like they recommend. The dentist maybe, but even if you brush your teeth, and don't eat a ton of sugars, I doubt you'll need to go, all the time. But there's a ton of people that don't go. They're fine,
Yeah. Yeah, I know some people that haven't had
a physical in years. Since like high school. So I think it's fair that entertainment,
Should I have to go get my physical?
Yeah, I haven't got mine since I was in high school. Yeah, and I only would get them so I could play sports, because they want to make sure that,
That's pretty much all the time when I ran track.
Right.
I would go get a physical.
Or they wanted to see if you were vaccinated. I don't know if we should get into that.
Vaccinations? I actually have a friend that always sends me stuff about, like, because he always thinks that I'm argumentative. I guess that's why I wanted to start a podcast, just so I can talk. Because for some reason, he's, like, thinking that, because he proposed vaccinations, like, I would have been, like, against it. I'm like, I'm against it and with it as well. I think it all depends, like, if you're, like, in a big city, that's fine. But if you're, like, living the life of a hermit,
would you need a vaccine, right?
Vaccination. I think you're not around anybody to catch anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think all these things are personal to you.
Yeah.
You have to live your life based on the experiences that you had, and you make adjustments or changes based on that. You can't really watch someone else's life and be like, their kids got autism, so my kids will, because of the vaccine.
Yeah, we're now under quarantine, pretty much. But I think we're actually a little bit free, because we can actually go outside. There's like places where it's like they completely shut down.
I don't know if you ever saw, but they have like, and we'll insert it somewhere here, they have drones like...
Oh, yeah.
Telling people go back inside.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah, like Spain, I believe, because the drone was speaking in Spanish, and I'm like, what is happening? Like a drone's telling you go back home.
Probably might put it somewhere there, embedded the video. But yeah, I know like
people are becoming more. They're enforcing it more.
Yeah,
in some places.
By the way, we're talking about the COVID-19 virus, the coronavirus.
If you don't know what that is, you're like the Amish or living under a rock.
Or you're not. Yeah, you just tuned off of
or you're off the grid.
You
for
forsake electricity.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, entertainment. It's fair that they make that amount of money, because they can freeze time for hours. People will stop what they're doing and watch concerts far more than they will, go to someone's surgery.
Yeah.
So. Not saying anything about doctors. Both of my parents in the medical field, so I'm all for it. And all of my family, my mother's side, are in the medical field, so it's not anything against them.
And then the thing is, most of it, I think, is state, right? They get paid by the state, right?
I have no idea.
At least, no, they're private institutions. Like, I think Johns Hopkins is private, but still, they get some sort of funding from the state. Right. So, like, most of it, what happens, it's fixed. Most of
right, they can't even control it.
So it's like, and when you think about entertainers, most of the people, they slave for like 4 to 10 years before they pop. So
and that's all we know of. We don't know of the amount of time, because we're not celebrities, so we don't know of the time and effort it takes.
We don't know about like you know, how often they slept in a car, you know what I mean? You know.
Or, couldn't make rent and had to borrow. We really don't know their lifestyles, but we know that they take more risks.
That is true, yeah.
Than doctors do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that.
I only spoke to a few doctors. I just know they do, it's about 8 years, right?
It's 8 to 12.
8 to 12.
And that's just the residency. You still have to specialize and all kinds of stuff. So it's a long road for doctors. I don't really recommend anybody, not in the state of the world that it's going right now, where there's a ton of viruses out. I don't recommend anybody becoming a doctor.
I know they busy.
Right, they're super busy now. They have like memes on Instagram and Twitter where it's like, and we're also going to insert this. They'll say like, we stay here for you, stay home for us. But if we stay home, then why would you need to stay at work? That's my thing. If we stay home, then you guys don't really have jobs.
My whole thing is that, because with the coronavirus, it's pretty much like the flu, right? And then the way to prevent it is the exact same way you prevent almost any other virus. Wash your hands, keep a bit of a distance, away from those that potentially could be sick. I always thought that was interesting.
Common
I was
sense.
like, wash your hands, make sure you wash up, eat your vitamins, minerals, kiss your mom.
Maybe not if you have coronavirus, though.
Maybe if you're not, you're right. If she gets it, because she didn't wash her hands.
But yeah, and even with this like whole vitamin train, people are like, oh yeah, take your vitamins. Sure, you can, but go outside and get the vitamins from the source. These pills everyone wants to continue taking, vitamin D comes straight from the sun. Do not be scared of the sun, guys.
That is true.
Taking vitamin D pills, that's fine, but go outside and just sit in the sun for a few hours and think, or read, or go for a walk.
Sunbathe.
Sunbathe, or people are taking vitamin C pills. Vitamin C is in tangerines and citrus fruits. You guys need to relax. Like, we're so prone to want to take.
Now I want some more. I want a fruit now.
Right, because it's like these things they occur naturally in nature.
No, it's just because I'm a gluttonous.
Oh man, but yeah, everyone's like, oh yeah, I have all these vitamin pills. The vitamins are found in the earth. Like, relax yourselves and just go for a walk one day. Take 20 minutes and just put your feet in a river or something nearby or something. It's not always about medications and listening to the CDC, even though it's a good idea because they know more information than we do. But
I remember
they don't know everything.
I was on Facebook and I saw I can't remember, it was a while ago, and I saw it was like a list of how to get over like depression or sadness, and they were saying how make your bed, go walk, go for a jog, work out, and stuff like that. And I reposted it, and then this is one woman, and and she kind of was like saying that her pretty much she was saying how her depression controls her to not want to do those things, and and I guess with me I was just thinking when I was thinking about it, I was like, you're not really a suitable partner for anybody. Because if I walk in the house, if I walk in the house and I'm like, and I see you're just there, and you're not, it's like stuff is filthy and stuff like that, and I'm like, why is the house filthy? And you're like, my depression. I'm gonna be like, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little confused. No, I feel that. Also, I think we're, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know anything about mental illness, depression, but I do know that everyone has a choice. I don't even know if saying that is politically correct, but I don't. Because I believe everyone has a choice. So taking things one moment at a time, like you said, going for walks, bathing. So you're too sad to bathe? Yeah. I don't know about that one. I don't know. It's just hard for me to understand. But we want to hear from you guys. So if you believe in depression,
this is gonna be going on Spotify and all that stuff, but I will post it to YouTube as well. Yeah, leave a comment down below.
Yeah, leave your feedback. Do you believe that depression not necessarily can be cured, but can simple tasks like being present in the moment help with depression? In my opinion, I believe yes. Like you said, waking up, taking the day one day at a time, brushing your teeth, making yourself feel good, doing the things that every human typically should be doing. You know, I think this can help with depression. Going for a walk, going outside, like you start realizing that not everything's the end of the world anyway. You know, so whatever you're feeling, it's internal. It's like we're making it a bigger deal than it is.
You know, it's funny with this whole coronavirus thing going around. Seeing how Netflix and everybody's capitalizing off of it, because if you turn on Netflix, they already have like strands of disease type.
No way. If that's true, we gotta put that up there. That's I don't watch Netflix, so I don't know. The last thing I watched on Netflix was you guys gotta watch Bandersnatch. Yeah, and we're not sponsored at all by Netflix. Netflix.
No, you're right. But like I was up there, you know, and they had like carriers, like and it was because I went to go and see I went to go see my brother. And they had a bunch of like, they already had like sections of movies if you wanted to watch like how viruses was like taking over, pretty much zombie movies. Wow. And like I thought that was like funny, like they're
capitalizing on our fear. Yeah. Also, like, people were saying that the COVID-19.
Fear is money, drama is money.
Absolutely, they were saying, and that's what I'm about to get to. People are saying that the COVID-19 is a way for governments or whatever these people are that have more control over us are trying to keep us inside. And I was telling you about this, like, that cannot be true because Netflix, Hulu, Spot, these companies have been doing that for years. Disney Plus is now doing it. People love nostalgia. People love to escape. So our TVs have been doing that far longer than the governments, unless we're going to say that the government's invented the TV. And I don't think that's true. I think a regular scientist or whoever was responsible for making the TV. And he pushed it out to the public. He or she, we don't know. But I don't think it was the government's like, hey, we want to keep them inside. Like,
no.
Other things have been doing that for years. Obesity has been doing that. We've been doing it to ourselves, guys. And to be clear, you can go outside. There is no law or there's no, like, you know, there's no jurisdiction saying you can't leave the house. It's just saying social distancing is, you know, a better approach. You know, not going to places with larger than 50 people, you know, and I don't think they're saying, oh yeah, don't go outside, guys. But like I'm saying, if that is the case, even if they're saying that, that's been happening for years. You gotta get your own self up. You gotta find ways to get your own self out of the house. You can't blame it on Netflix. You can't blame it on the coronavirus, guys.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Leave your comments. Do you think depression can be helped by just doing small tasks? Helping someone else.
I tell them to go out the house.
Maybe. Or do you one of the things that they were saying about depression is sometimes we're so inwardly trapped. We don't recognize that other people are hurt. So do you think that by helping other people, you know,
service.
Yeah. Do you think that'll help with like depression or anxiety, you know? Explaining to someone your situation and then helping them through it too? Maybe that'll get you less stuck, not be in the bed, so that when your partner comes home, you're not just stuck there in your filth. Because that's kind of gross. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Like, what would you do? Like, you know,
if I saw a guy,
like, you know, your boyfriend or somebody you're interested in, and you walk in and you're like, you've been here all day, like, you know,
and you're filth.
And why does my house smell like this? Or why does our house smell like this? And he says, because I'm sad. Like,
I would be a little pissed off because that I don't know. Like I said,
I don't know. Maybe
everyone has a choice.
You know, I'm open to be wrong. So you know.
Yeah, leave some comments, man. Rip us up. We don't really care.
Yeah, I'm open to be wrong. But
yeah,
that's crazy though.
I don't know if depression's an excuse for not bathing, guys.
Yikes.
That was a tough one. All right, so we're gonna take a break, and when we come back from the break, we're gonna talk about some conspiracies. Be right back.
Yeah, all right, so we're back, and we were, talking about the Simpsons, you know, because going off of conspiracy theories, because we wanted to start out talking about them. But, and we was talking about how the Simpsons been predicting stuff for quite some time, at least their episodes, and we was wondering if it's actually, like, coincidence or, you know, they rule the world.
Not so much rule the world, but they know more information than we do. You know, and that makes sense intuitively to me because the time they just make cartoons. The cartoons look ridiculous. It's not really about the cartoons; it's the message they're portraying in the cartoons. And I think that's why it's plausible for them to know more information, whether or not it's them, I don't know, being malicious or not. I think they know more than us.
Yeah, because I looked up like what the
that
top
they've had.
10. So it looks like they predicted autocorrect back in 1994.
Okay.
And we did the the Siegfried and Roy tiger attack.
Are we gonna put the episodes and the seasons
Yeah.
so that you guys can get your own
Yeah, it
references?
was like this one happened in 1993 to 2000 with the Roy attack. And
If
they
you're not
survived,
familiar,
but-
Siegfried and Roy are magicians, and they were really crazy. So they did really wild stuff, messing with tigers and stuff like that. And they got really good up until something happened. You gotta watch the video, and you come to your own conclusions. But something happened such that the lion attacked Roy, I believe.
Yeah. You know, I
He
think
didn't die, but he was injured. And I don't think he ever performed with the... I don't think they ever performed with that lion again. Or that tiger, again. Oh, they predicted the Ebola outbreak. That's something we can talk about.
Yeah, so it says what some people were my Business Insider. Some people maintain that the Simpsons predicted the 2014 outbreak of Ebola 17 years before it happened. In the scene from the episode Lisa Sachs, Marge suggests a sick Bart read a book titled Curious George and the Ebola virus.
So my question is, how many coincidences until it becomes mathematically impossible
Wait a
for it to be a
second.
coincidence? And then the Ebola virus, even though that wasn't... I believe the Ebola virus came out twice. Like, it outbroke twice. So there's a million other things you could call a virus. Why did they call it the Ebola virus? Like I said, leave your comments below.
Okay, yeah, so
Let
it
us know.
happened in 1976. It didn't happen there. Let me see it. It says it killed 254 people in the Dominican Republic of Congo in 1995 and 224 in Uganda in 2000.
So yeah, it outbroke twice, and that's my thing. The people, everything that we see, hear, touch, is not necessarily created by a human, but a lot of the information is. So they created this cartoon, right? And then they make an episode where they say Curious George and the Ebola virus. Is that a coincidence or not? It doesn't seem like it to me, but Tim disagrees. But I think that there are coincidences. However, too many coincidences in a row, it becomes mathematically impossible for it to be a coincidence, to me. Another one is the Game of Thrones. See, stuff like this is just annoying. Like,
I didn't even know they did one for the Game of Thrones. Yeah.
that's ridiculous. How about the Game of Thrones, though? And the whole ice wall. What does that have to do with our lives?
Oh, you're talking about
They're literally encapsulated by an ice wall. And a human thought of this. And you think that he just pulled it out of his mind. Like, he just, we're surrounded by an ice wall, guys. I think that everything created in life that a human thinks of is a representation of real life.
something that happened. Yeah, I mean, like,
Or
influenced by that.
or some type of trauma. So like monsters, they're not pulling that monster out of. They either saw it, or their minds are so psychologically they can create monsters that look like that. It's not just, oh my goodness, I just drew this up. Because if that's the case, then you should be able to draw a monster right now. But you likely can't.
Yeah, I think that was like what's his name? Not Poe, but the other guy that drew the Cthulhu. I can't remember his name at the moment, but they were saying how he was dealing with something psychologically because like he was afraid of, I guess, like the unknown, like not necessarily the unknown, but
H.P. Lovecraft?
H.P. Lovecraft.
His name is just eerie. H.P. Are you kidding
H.P.
me?
Lovecraft. Yeah. In fact, he made the board game. Ooh, we could do board games too. Like request. I was playing them. But yeah. But he was that game downstairs, Arkham Horror.
Oh yeah, Arkham
That's
Horror
based
is
on
really
his
awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
It's a really cool board game.
But yeah, like one of the things that he was afraid of was one of the things that kind of motivated him to write the way he did was like being afraid of not knowing. I guess that would be a good way to sum it up. But
yeah, even there's a movie called The Earth Stood Still.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when it came out, and like I said, we're gonna give references to all of these things so that you guys can find this information yourself. But The Earth Stood Still is basically about finding unidentified flying objects, so UFOs. And so my question is, if UFOs aren't real, what are people seeing? You know what I mean? What are they seeing? Because you can't just create something out of nothing. it has to come from some reference or something. So I'm not saying that they're seeing UFOs, but what are they seeing such that they can make movies and things about it? You know what I mean? Like even aliens and how aliens look. And how aliens look across different movies, across different countries, they look the same for the most part. So are people encountering these things? We'll never know until we ourselves encounter them and are trying to explain it to people, looking crazy. So, so I don't know. Like I said, we don't know if these things are coincidences or the Simpsons conspiring to rule the world. We will never know unless we're on the board. You know, we're in the club. But let's go through some of the other
conspiracies. And the funny thing is that, like, well, I guess if we're going back to the coronavirus, they actually had, like, you know, like it was being shipped from, I think, I never seen the episode, but I only saw the meme, but it was like a box that was being shipped from Asia. I think some Asian country, like, you know, then it just started affecting, you know, people, and then they had coronavirus in the news. So yeah.
Or here's another thing. You guys should go on Google Translate, type in COVID, translate COVID to Hebrew. Copy whatever that translation is. We can also do it and insert it. Okay. But copy whatever that translation is in Hebrew to English. And let me know what you guys get in the comments, because we got some crazy stuff. And obviously I got this off social media, so tons of people have already done it. But we want to see what you guys get, because are these coincidences, or are we really in some type of matrix? Because what is going on? People are saying they got Kobe. Other people are saying... Like, people are saying that they got some weird stuff. And I don't know. Does that happen in every language? Hebrew is the only one we know so far. But, like I said, are these coincidences, guys? Or, if not, what are they? And what can we do to stop it? Because it seems like we're kind of helpless in the sense that we're just consuming what these people are making, conspiracy, coincidence or not. So... I don't know, but let's go through some of the other ones. So this is about like 18. So we talked about 3 so far.
I'll go back up to the top. Hold on. Alright, so we had the Ebola outbreak, and then we was talking about
autocorrect. Let's talk about the letter from the Beatles. I saw that
The letter from the Beatles. Alright, so in 1981, an episode of The Simpsons saw the Beatles' Ringo Starr diligently answer fans' mails that had been written decades ago. In September 2013, 2 Beatles fans from Essex received a reply from Paul McCartney to a letter and recording they sent to the band 50 years ago. The recording was sent to a London theater the band was due to play at, but was found years later in a car boot sale by historians. In 2013, the BBC's The One Show reunited the pair with their letters, plus a reply from McCartney.
I honestly don't even know what that means.
Huh.
I don't know what that means.
It seems like there's the answer fans' mails that have been written decades ago. So he was just backed up, and he just didn't read their mail. So I guess that's what they were saying, that Paul McCartney wrote, 2 Beatles fans wrote McCartney, and he just hasn't answered their mails for, 50 years? Recorded they sent, to a letter and recorded they sent to the band 50 years ago, and they haven't read their mail.
That doesn't really sound too much like a...
So...
Or I guess it's just prediction. They're just predicting that Paul McCartney would be so swamped that he wouldn't be able to answer. I guess... Oh, but they're saying that he ended up replying. Yeah,
and that's what they were saying, like...
that he will reply?
That he didn't reply to these letters for, years, and then he replied to them.
Okay.
You know, that's pretty much saying that,
so that's not really malicious at all. They're just predicting stuff.
Horse meat scandal. In 1994... Lunch lady Doris used assorted horse parts to make lunch for students at Springfield Elementary. That's disgusting. 9 years later, the Food Safety Authority, I don't know, horse might taste delicious. 9 years later, the Food Safety Authority of Ireland found horse DNA in over 1/3 of beef burger samples from supermarkets and readily meals, and pig in 85 of them. And that's the thing about them. That's the thing, right? Like, if you find out it's horse meat, but you were eating it and you thought it was delicious, like, are you now disgusted? If it's there was this movie.
It's like if you had sex with a person and then you find out that person was a man. It's the same thing.
But I would know though, because.
Yeah, but they're saying they would, if you just said that if you found out. So if you
found
out
my whole thing is that, for instance, there was this movie, right? This movie that came out years ago called Demolition Man, right? He went into the sewers. Well, first of all, I don't know why he didn't even understand what he probably would have been eating. He went to a sewer, but he went to a sewer and ordered a burger, and he was like, "Oh, this is a tasty burger." what's the meat? And the person was speaking Spanish. It was like El Rato or something like that. And he was like, rat. It's a rat burger? And then he was like, it's a delicious rat burger. And he kept eating the burger. I was like, you find out that if it's delicious and you like it.
All right, well then that the same should go for if you find out that a woman is actually a man, and then you should.
I don't know about that because I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
But if they told, okay, after orgasm, they tell you, hey Tim, I'm actually a man. That's what it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
But they wouldn't be able to get like surgery to, I don't know exactly.
It's possible. All I'm saying is a hypothetical. If a person tells you.
I like that one. Well, because, I wouldn't.
But that's what, okay. You're saying that
because I'm like having sex.
9 years later,
I'm having sex with the intention. I'm having sex with something that I perceive as a woman, not something.
So that's what they're saying. They found horse meat in beef burgers, so they're calling it beef. And I'm not. Why would you not want to? Horse meat? It's probably still beef anyway. Because I think beef is just a name necessarily. It's the name of what we give whatever that meat is. I mean, maybe beef is just.
Beef is
for cows. Maybe it's just for cows. So you don't know. Just like you don't know that who you're having sex with is a man. They don't know they're eating non-beef burgers, but then they find out and then they're disgusted. It's totally natural. And if you continue to not be disgusted, then you might be gay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you have sex with someone, he's like, I would tell you the truth.
But I would be disgusted if I found out. But
Yeah, I would hope so. So I would hope you would feel disgusted if someone sold you
a rat
burger or a horse burger. I would hope so. I don't know. But I lost my train of thought because I was going to say, in situations like this, it makes sense why they would want to mix different meats because we eat so much,
processed
guys.
Food.
We eat, not even processed food, we eat so much. Because even the vegetables and stuff, they have to...
We as a nation.
We, in general, people, humans, we eat a lot, guys. So they have to... It's supply and demand. You know what I mean? They have to continue to make food. When I worked at Denny's... I don't even know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. The eggs are not real. They're not real. And they're not real because so many people eat eggs. So they have to find out another way. They can't just be cracking eggs every second because it's not.
So what's their eggs made out of?
It's It's probably an egg substitute, but it's powder and they mix water and it's a formula and it's disgusting. And if you go to Denny's, always ask for shelled eggs. And if they charge you for more, don't pay it. Because you shouldn't be charged more for eating the real thing. And that's what I had to do at Denny's all the time. I had to tell people, it's $2 extra for real eggs. Don't eat Denny's eggs because they're not real. And that's what I'm saying is because the demand is so high, they have to figure out an alternative. So they have to do weird stuff. So I can understand why they're doing that's nonsense. Now they shouldn't be putting anything but what they say.
At least let you know what you're eating.
Yeah. You should.
Shouldn't deceive people.
Absolutely.
Especially when, it comes to things like that. Because you never know what anybody's allergic to. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you never know. But, yeah, do your research, guys.
Yeah.
Don't eat fast food. As much as you try not to. Because none of it is really real. And it doesn't have to be. Because it just doesn't. If you really look into how food is made and why they make certain, like I said, it's supply and demand. So they don't care that you're a vegan. All they want to do is sell to you and then next. That's it.
Get your money.
Yeah, that's it.
That's another one? Society. They predicted autocorrect
in
season 6. School bullies Kearney and Dolph took a memo to beat up Martin on a Newton device in an episode of The Simpsons that aired in 1994. The memo gets quickly translated to eat up Martha, an early foreshadowing of autocorrect frustrations. The Simpsons was lampooning Apple's underwhelming Newton, the iPhone's ancient ancestor. Oh, so they've been... Okay, I just learned something new. That's what they were doing. That had just been released and included shoddy handwriting recognition, according to Fast Company. So they've been trying to do autocorrect since 1994. Since 94. How you say his name? Nitin Ganatra, former director of engineering, iOS.
This guy might be dyslexic, guys.
I am. At Apple, told Fast Company that this particular moment on The Simpsons served as inspiration to get the iPhone keyboard right.
In my opinion, Because I've had this. Everybody's experienced this. You try to put like the F word and it ends up putting like duck. Like, I don't want to say duck.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has happened to everyone. But I don't think. Because people were also saying that autocorrect is a form of like predictive typing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get everybody's keyboards, or they're trying to get everybody's like language on the same level, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's true.
But the thing is, it seems like from here, like if we're going off of like if this was a prediction or not, I don't think it's a prediction because this is a jab at, because from what it was saying, it was a jab at them trying to autocorrect.
Right, and like I was just gonna say, you can turn it off. So I don't really know if that's a prediction or not. All right, smartwatches. The Simpsons introduced the idea of a watch you can use as a phone in an episode aired in 1995, nearly 20 years before the Apple Watch was released.
I always thought that was like a James Bond thing, like, you know, they'd do that. But maybe I haven't seen any of the old James Bond. I've only seen all the
Spy Kids was like that too. They had
But did it come out before The Simpsons?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
But who knows? Because I always feel like that, you know, them talking to their watch was always like a spy thing. But, you know, I didn't know what that started with The Simpsons.
And leave in the comments, what is the deal with smartwatches? Why can't people just use their phones? Like, what is it with us trying to make technology smaller and smaller? That's one of my questions.
You know.
I don't know.
Hey, Siri.
Yeah. Doesn't really look cool to me.
No.
Yeah, not to me. That's what I'm saying. Leave in the comments because I'm not really fascinated with the whole smartwatch thing. You know.
Hey, Siri, did I eat today?
I think you can even FaceTime on some of the watches as well. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
It's a small doing this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey.
Yeah, I really don't know. So leave in the comments why you think people want to make their technology so small. And leave in the comments if you know there is a limit to how small.
That's kind of like the thing though, because it'll get really small, then it's like, it's too small now. We want to attack big, huge.
Right.
Like, cause
I mean, but there's a limit to how small it can get, and we're reaching that limit. So
okay.
I think we are actually at that limit where we just can't physically, because we'll start messing. I don't want to get into science stuff, but we'll start messing with the atomic level of computers, and that's impossible. Or it's maybe not impossible, but you know.
You just spoke gibberish. That's just with computer.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know what you were talking about. You said quantum, and I just checked out.
Oh yeah, that's basically what's gonna occur if we get too small. I think we should start an episode on how computers really work, because I think that's something that isn't really talked about unless you like specialize in it. But it's very important to know how electricity and electronics work.
Oh yeah.
Robotic librarians.
The BIOS and stuff like that. Oh yeah. And Lisa's wedding. Oh, okay. So this is season 6, episode 19. If you guys want to go watch it. In Lisa's wedding, we discovered that librarians have been replaced with robots in the Simpsons universe.
No one even goes to libraries.
I actually went a few weeks ago with Steve, with a couple of friends of mine, and you know, yeah, it's like it was. We went on, I think, a Sunday, and yeah, it was mostly old.
Tumbleweed, yeah.
Mostly old people in those libraries.
Yeah. But basically, it says in Lisa's wedding, they've been replaced by robots, and then more than 20 years later, robotic students from the university built a prototype. Oh, I said University of I don't know how to say that.
Aberystwyth?
Maybe.
Aberystwyth.
One of the universities.
I'll put it somewhere.
Yeah, we'll put it somewhere. We're not going to try to butcher it. Built a prototype for a walking library robot. Why would this be useful? And even if this is a prediction, because they're saying that they predicted it, this isn't really useful because one, not a lot of people go to libraries, and the point of libraries is to disconnect from electronics.
Well, maybe
to read
university.
books.
Yeah, maybe a university library, but that's about it. But like public libraries, those joints are generally empty, unless you like renting out space. In fact, I think that's usually how it goes now. Like you rent out space for a classroom. And, they use it for that, which is good. That's a good idea.
But also, that's a good point that this university did it because they probably have robotic engineers or something.
Right.
So that makes sense. The Higgs boson equation. You guys got to get into physics. I believe everybody should get into physics. Physics is so fundamental to life.
What's the Higgs boson equation?
I don't know what the equation is, but Higgs boson is they're basically trying to say that atoms are not the smallest particles. There are smaller particles that make up atoms.
That's what. Okay.
So the Higgs boson is basically like this god particle that starts everything. If you believe in evolution, you're more likely to adapt to this.
Higgs.
Yeah. But basically it says in 1998 episode called The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, Homer Simpson becomes an inventor and is shown in front of a complicated equation on a blackboard. Will never happen. Homer was stupid. According to Simon Singh, the author of The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets, the equation predicts the mass of the Higgs boson particle. So at first they were saying it was massless, like light. But like they're saying, now the equation predicts that there is a mass. It was first predicted in 1964 by Professor Peter Higgs. And just to point out, I think that the scientists are so narcissistic. Why are they naming these things after themselves? You didn't create these things. You found it. Yeah. That's so weird.
Well, I guess that's why, because it's like, oh, he was the person that found it. You know, we like being first, you know. People gotta be first.
Yeah, but they're always naming things after themselves. I think it should be more neutral and universal for everybody to understand and not the Einstein theory. Like, out of here. By Professor Peter Higgs and 5 other physicists, but it wasn't until... And then they say it was by other 5... He had a team.
He had a team. Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until 2013 that scientists discovered proof of the Higgs boson in a $10.4 billion... Oh, that's euros. 10.4 billion euros, which is $13 billion experiment. Wow, that's a lot of money to figure out the tiniest particle ever. Wow. That's a really good prediction. We gotta look into that. But
well, I don't know if it's a prediction because it was 1998 and that happened in 1964. So somebody just knew Higgs and just threw it in the episode.
Oh, good point.
They just knew about it and just threw it in the episode and had Homer talk about it.
But why is this important? We have an obsession with trying to figure out where we came from. So that's why people are trying to figure out what is the building block of all matter. So look into that. Higgs boson. Number 12.
Disney buys 20th Century Fox, season 10, episode 5. In the episode When You Dish Upon a Star, that originally aired in 1998, Ron Howard and Brian Grazer produced a script Homer pitched. The script is being produced at 20th Century Fox, and a sign in front of the studio headquarters revealed that it is a division of Walt Disney's Corporation, or Walt Disney's Corp. And that did happen too, right? Back in 2017.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that. How it takes so much it takes so much thought and work to even build a place like Disney, and then Disney then buys Century Fox.
I think he went bankrupt a few times, right? Disney. Before it became what it is today. But again, that makes sense because that's pretty much where it was going.
But it says on December 4th, 2017, Disney purchased 21st Century Fox for an estimated $52.4 billion, acquiring Fox's film studio. When? 2017? Okay. Yeah. In addition to a bulk of its television production assets. And for all the people who are already conspiracy theorists, tell me why this is important, that they own a bulk of TV. Anyway, the media conglomerate also has access to popular entertainment properties like X-Men, Avatar, and The Simpsons. So...
yeah, they can merge it all together if they want.
They have. They have total control of all the... Yeah. They have total control over most of the productions. Yeah. So let me know in the comments why you think that's important, because... If you have a monopoly over media, you can say what you want. You can write the victory. You can write the history as you want it. But here's another one. The invention of the tobacco plant. That seems interesting. Homer uses nuclear energy to create a hybrid of tomato and tobacco plants. The tobacco sounds delicious. This inspired a U.S. Simpsons fan.
So Rob Bauer.
Yeah.
In 2000, Bauer grafted together a tobacco root and a tomato stem. So this is a prediction. This dude just saw it and was like, I'm going to try it.
Idiots. The Simpsons were so impressed that they invited Bauer and his family to their offices and ate the tomato fruit themselves. That's what I'm saying. The Simpsons, they're idiots. It was probably Homer's idea.
But I mean, like, that's not new. That's not anything new, splicing together fruits. Like, I think I've seen, like, an apple and an orange spliced together. And then, like, they would cut it open and, and show you what it would look like. And it actually had, I think it had the apples. No, it had the orange's shell. I guess that's what you would call it, or the orange's skin. And then you peel it and it had that, like, apple or pears.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not anything that people splicing together.
But this one's a funny one, faulty voting machines, because people were saying that in the last election they were trying to vote for a particular person.
And it happened again. I mean, it happened, I think, during the time of Bush, I believe. Like
they were trying to push a button and it wasn't.
Yeah.
But okay, it says in 2008, The Simpsons shows Homer trying to vote for Barack Obama in the general election, but a faulty machine changed his vote to McCain, which was who his opponent was at the time. 4 years later, a voting machine in Pennsylvania. It's always Pennsylvania. Had to be removed after it's always Pennsylvania and Florida.
Pennsylvania's wild.
It had to be removed after it kept changing people's votes for Barack Obama for his Republican Mitt Romney. And Mitt Romney still lost. And McCain still lost. So I don't know. That's a good prediction now because it was happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, well, technology is technology. You know, just can't expect it to work 100%.
Nah, it's different. They're saying that the machine changed his vote. Not it didn't work.
Okay.
They're saying that he pushed a button and the machine is registering it as something else. I don't know if that's a mistake. I don't think so. Because usually when you're programming something, it's more likely for the machine to crash. You push a button and it's like 404 error or whatever. It doesn't change it.
So you think it's like malicious? Somebody?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. They tried, but they lost. So I don't know how successful they were.
Yeah. The U.S. beat Sweden in curling at the Olympic Games. Season 21, episode 12. People are still watching? Season 21?
Oh,
no.
Okay. Yeah, I think the last one was like season 29.
I checked out, I think, I went back and watched them. So it's like, I think I checked out like season 10 or 12.
I've never watched Simpsons a day in my life. It was one of those shows that like catered to like dumb people. It didn't really.
Yeah, it had smart comedy in the earlier shows.
Yeah,
but
it was more like insulting your intelligence type of cartoon. I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, you need to watch the earlier ones, like 1 through 8, I think. 1 through 8 is like pretty much The Simpsons at its prime, and then after that, then it just started selling to like kids.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah.
It says in the biggest upsets, we're still talking about the Olympics. In the biggest upsets at the 2018 Winter Olympics, the U.S. curling team won gold over the favorite Sweden. What is curling? What Olympic event is that?
Curling? I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know. I'll have a look at it.
This historical win was predicted in 2010 of The Simpsons called Boy Meets Curl. One thing about The Simpsons, though, their puns were pretty good. Their episode names were pretty good. In the episode, Marge and Homer Simpson compete in curling at the Vancouver Olympics and beat Sweden. In real life, U.S. men's Olympic curling team, go U.S., won a gold medal after defeating Sweden even though they were behind, which is exactly how it played out on The Simpsons. Okay, it's pretty cool. Like a comeback kind of victory.
Mm-hmm.
The victory is the second curling medal ever for the United States, not including Marge and Homer's, of course. So that's a pretty good prediction. I don't really watch the Olympics. There's actually this meme where I'm gonna put it up here, but people cannot recognize the Olympic logo if it was in front of them. So like they have like 5, and the rings are all placed in different ways, and that's where the Mandela effect comes in, which we can talk about in another episode. But basically, people do not recognize, like every time people try to choose the correct one, they always choose wrong. So what is that about? Maybe because the logo isn't significant enough, it's just colored rings. So you never know which order the rings are in. But people always get it wrong. So I'm going to put it up here, put the picture of the different configurations of it, but you're most likely going to get it wrong.
Yeah, okay. You got to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they'll never know unless they look it up. So, yeah, we'll never know. Because even if they look it up, how do we know it's the real one? We'll have to wait till the Olympics comes around to see which one is the real logo. Nobel Prize winner.
Season 22.
This is 16 out of 18, by the way, so we're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost finished.
But MIT professor Bengt Holmström won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2016, 6 years after he was bet on to win the Nobel Prize on The Simpsons. Okay. What was he for?
Holmström named appeared on batting scores with Martin Lisa database and Millhouse based on, I don't know who Holmström is. Let's look him up real quick.
Yeah, because I don't know why he would have won. MIT professor, so he must be really smart.
And economics.
Okay. Okay, so he's probably I don't know if he has something to do with betting or if the economics has something to do with betting. I'm not sure.
Like, but why him though? Why him in 2016? I think like most of these prizes are kind of like nonsense.
You think so?
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like like what did he actually do to like for it to be considered the best piece of 2016? Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Well, I don't know. Is the Nobel Prize the same as the Nobel Peace Prize?
Wait, but did it say Peace Prize or just the prize?
No, it's just Nobel Prizes, and like
you
discovered something.
Oh, so he probably, I don't know.
The Nobel Prize is for people who have discovered something so amazing that you need to get. You need not necessarily change, but something. Yeah, you need to be recognized for what you've discovered. You can actually look up the Nobel Prizes if you want, like the different kinds of Nobel Prizes. Mm. But yeah, Nobel Prizes are for people who, and actually there are people who set out to find unsolvable problems so that they can get Nobel Prizes. And I think there are 7 mathematical problems that are unsolved to this date. And if you solve them, you'll get a monetary prize, obviously, and then you'll get a Nobel Prize. So I think it's fair that people see the Nobel Peace Prize is different. That's at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. It just came.
But see here, Nobel Prize in Physics says for theoretical discoveries in physical cosmology. So it makes sense because if someone discovers something so great, it's like, dude, you kind of want to recognize
him. Okay, yeah. All right. I suppose I stand corrected.
Yeah, the Peace Prize maybe is kind of pointless, but as far as the other ones, it's like, you kind of want to recognize people for discovering gravity if you're into that.
Mm. All right, now we're going to turn our brains off. It's number 17.
Oh, yeah. This is Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime show. They predicted this.
They predicted halftime
In 2012, Lady Gaga performed for the town of Springfield hanging in midair. 5 years later, she flew from the Houston NRG Stadium roof in real life to perform.
I think somebody was probably influenced by it and then was like, yeah, Simpsons did it. Let's do it. I feel like that's what happened. They were influenced.
She also did have stuff squirting from her boobs.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool.
And we already talked about Daenerys. Oh, well, I suppose. But the thing is, this wasn't necessarily like, okay, so number 18 is Daenerys Targaryens for Game of Thrones fans. Big plot twist in Game of Thrones where she torches King's Landing with her dragon. But the thing is, that was one of the theories that was going to happen, that people was thinking was going to happen anyway because of how Daenerys was portrayed. So I don't know if that was necessarily a prediction. I guess you can say it was a prediction, but they weren't the only ones that was thinking that way, that she was going to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really know about that. All I know from Game of Thrones, I never watched it, is that they're surrounded by an ice wall, and I always wondered how did they get.
They're not necessarily surrounded by an ice wall. There's this place, what's it called, where like prisoners go, you can either volunteer to serve on the wall, or you can go. And the whole thing is that you stay there for the rest of your life. You can't even have a woman, so it's like you just stay there and you're just guarding this wall until the day that you die. And what you guard from the wall from outsiders and these things called White Walkers. But when Game of Thrones started, White Walkers was like a myth during that time. So pretty much you were just guarding the wall from outsiders, people you didn't want to come in.
Okay, yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting concept.
So as we approach the end, because that was the last one, are these coincidences, or is there a deeper meaning? We'll never know. If you have any evidence or any more predictions that the Simpsons have made, leave it down below and let us know what other things that you think the Simpsons were predicted that was, worth talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you like the episode, please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you know when, this is for my YouTubers, of course. Hit the bell notification so you know when we're posting again. I probably might be doing more with the channel. They'll probably do the little intellectual thing, and then I probably might delve it down with some gameplay once I get things situated. But yeah, leave a comment below, and you guys have a good day. Be of service, to someone else when the virus stops.
Wash your hands. I don't know why I have to tell you that, but
yeah,
just in case.
Clean yourself. Straighten up your room.
We sound like parents.